Good morning, my friends. Hope you're doing well on this, our 24th book reading. Today's a little different book. I'm reading it because my friend Annie Cates Tremp, who was actually the library technician in 1995, when Susan B. Anthony was a brand new school, asked me to read it. And so when your friend asks you to read a book, you do. And this one's different. Look, it's a soft cover book. These are not like ones we have in the library. In the library, we buy hardcover books because these are not as durable. You can tell it's torn a little bit right here because my family has read this book. But these are more like books you might have at your home because they don't cost as much as a hardcover book. This one is Robert Munsch's I Love You Forever. And I think a lot of parents like this book because it talks about a parent's love and what happens to the parent's love. It's written by Robert Munsch and illustrated by Sheila McGraw, and we'll talk about the publisher. It does have a spine, but there's nothing written on it because it's just too narrow. And the back cover does have like a little synopsis of the book called Love You Forever. So here's the end page, and Firefly Books is the publisher. Our friend gave us this book before we had our first kid, way back in 1995. So we had a kid born in 1996, two kids in 1998, one kid in 2012, one kid in 2013, and two kids in 2014? So 7 kids is a lot of kids. This is I Love You Forever by Robert Munsch. A mother held her new baby and very slowly rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she held him, she sang, I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. So there she is, mom and baby. That's a beautiful picture, huh? Did your mom rock you when you were little? I hope she did. The baby grew. He grew and he grew and he grew and he grew until he was 2 years old, and he ran all around the house. He pulled all the books off the shelves. He pulled all the food out of the refrigerator, and he took his mother's watch and he flushed it down the toilet. We have a kid just like this in our house who's that kind of crazy. Sometimes his mother would say, this kid is driving me crazy. Sometimes kids do some stuff. Maybe you do. You might want to dial that back. Don't flush your mom's watch. But at night, when that 2-year-old was quiet, she opened the door to his room, crawled across the floor, looked up over the side of his bed. And if he was really asleep, she picked him up and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang, I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. So she still loves him even though he flushed her watch down the toilet. And that's parents. They love us even when we do knucklehead stuff. That little boy grew. He grew and he grew and he grew and he grew till he was 9 years old. And he never wanted to come in for dinner. And he never wanted to take a bath. And when Grandma visited, he always said bad words. Sometimes his mother wanted to sell him to the zoo. Because sometimes when you're 9, you do some crazy stuff. What do you think? Does mom still love him? But as night came, when he was asleep, the mother quietly opened the door to his room, crawled across the floor, and looked up over the side of his bed. And if he was really asleep, she picked up that 9-year-old boy and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang, I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. Look at that. She still loves that crazy, dirty 9-year-old. He probably had to take a bath, though. That boy grew. He grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was a teenager. And he had strange friends, and he wore strange clothes, and he listened to strange music. My mom would say that was me as a teenager because I did all that stuff. Sometimes the mother felt like she was in a zoo. Look at that guy. Acting crazy, knocking the flowers off. Oh, Mom. But at nighttime, when that teenager was asleep, the mother opened the door to his room, crawled across the floor, looked up over the side of the bed. And if he was really asleep, what'd she do? Yep. She picked up that great big boy and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang, I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. So she still loves her crazy teenager, even though he's a wild man. That teenager grew. He grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was a grown-up man. And he left home and got a house across town. Now he's an adult himself. Do you think mom still loves him? What do you think? But on dark nights, the mother got into her car and drove across town. What's on her roof? A ladder. What is mom going to do with her adult son? If all the lights in her son's house were out, she opened his bedroom window, crawled across the floor, and looked up over the side of his bed. Look at mom and that big old man. And if that great big man was really asleep, she picked him up and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang, I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. She doesn't even care. He's an adult man, and she's rocking a man. But that's her baby. Well, that mother, she got older. Got older and older and older. One day she called up her son and said, you better come see me because I'm very old and sick. So her son came to see her, and when he came in the door, she tried to sing the song. She sang, I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always. But she couldn't finish because she was too old and too sick. It's kind of sad. What should the boy do? How can he pay back all of those years of love that his mother poured into him? Well, here's what that boy did. It's a beautiful picture. The son went to his mother, picked her up, and he rocked her. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And he sang this song. I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my mommy you'll be. So, he turned the tide on her, and he sang to her. When the son came home that night, he stood for a long time at the top of his stairs. What do you think he's thinking about? Then he went into the room where his very new baby daughter was sleeping. He picked her up in his arms and very slowly rocked her back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while he rocked her, he sang, I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. So what's he doing? He's taking that tradition and he's paying it forward. And that's the end page of the book. So it shows, even though you flush somebody's watch down the toilet, it doesn't stop a parent's love. And the goal is to spread that love from generation to generation. And you can start showing that love now, even if you're a kid. You can start showing your parents how much you love and care about them. You don't have to wait till they're old and sick. In fact, it's better if you don't wait till they're old or sick, but that you show that you love them forever right now. Because love is what brings joy to the world. And love is really why we're here. So start loving people. Thanks, and have a great day.